So it's the first day back for Parliament, and already you have in the Senate, not even with the members of Parliament, but in the Senate, you have lots of criticism towards Mark Carney, specifically around the whole Jewish aspect of how Jewish Canadians don't feel safe in Canada anymore because of poor liberal leadership. And we're going to gladly take a look at this. Welcome back to the channel, the extra channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage you all to hit the like button and subscribe. It's all I care about. Let's see how high we can get those numbers. And without further ado, let's take a look right here at a conservative senator absolutely shredding the liberal government.
Senator Husakos.
Honorable Senators, I rise today to plainly say what few others appear willing to say. Jews are no longer safe in our country. It's not that they feel unsafe, they are unsafe. And we as politicians are in no small part to blame. Anti-Semitism and Jew hatred is now expressed openly, shamelessly, and without restraint in Canada. It appears in our streets, on our campuses, on social media, and even in the rhetoric of certain Western political leaders who willingly or not repeat Hamas talking points to attack Israel. Recently, the Liberal government made the troubling decision to summon the Israeli ambassador not to express solidarity in the face of rising anti-Semitism, but to reprimand Israel after warning shots were fired in the vicinity of a diplomatic delegation that had veered off an agreed-upon path in a combat zone. A luxury not afforded the more than 1,200 innocent Israelis murdered on October the 7th. And certainly not afforded the 2 Israeli diplomatic staff who were murdered days later in Washington, D.C. by a pro-Hamas militant as they left a cultural event at the Jewish Museum. Meanwhile, here in Canada, Charlotte Cates, the international coordinator of a terrorist group, Samadoun, publicly justified the murder of those 2 young Israelis and brazenly insinuated that the same should happen here in Canada. But we're lecturing Israel.
Not to mention the countless amount of these Hamas protests or Hamas protesters or Hamas supporters that are just flooding our streets. And now it's getting to the point, we're not going to show footage, but you're just one Google search away from seeing that police are intervening with these protesters on a massive level. Like, I'm talking riot shields, I'm talking the whole shebang, right? Non-lethal type of aggression from the police towards these protesters, because the anti-Jewish rhetoric in Canada has gotten like wildly out of control. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy what's going on.
We hear chants in our streets, like from the river to the sea,
yeah,
and calls for intifada. These are not harmless slogans. What does our government do? We issue a joint statement with the UK and France condemning Israel's military operation in Gaza. That statement was praised, honorable colleagues, by Hamas. This is now the second time that the terrorist organization has publicly expressed support for Canada's position. When a group responsible for the murder of over 1,200 civilians, including 8 Canadians, applauds your foreign policy, you're definitely on the wrong side of history and on the wrong path. Let's be clear. This war could end tomorrow, and millions of Palestinians could be liberated from the tyranny of Hamas if that terrorist group laid down its weapons, released the hostages, and abandoned its mission of destruction. That's the only statement Canada should be issuing and the only statement we should be supporting. Canada needs to stand unequivocally with its ally Israel, not only to bring home the hostages, but also to make it clear that Jewish Canadians that are here in Canada should be safe in their homes and in their country. Thank you.
I feel like the government's response to this entire situation has been so not proportional to what it should have been. Canada is a peacekeeping country, and we should strive to keep it that way. And advocating for either side to continue bombing is horrible. We should be talking or encouraging peace talks. That's all it's really about, because it has bled into our country on a massive level. Like almost every day, every weekend, at least Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you have these massive pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas, whatever you want to call them, protests that take place across Canada in big and small cities and towns. And it's getting out of control. We are so divided as a country. It's unfreaking believable. And a lot of that has to do with poor liberal leadership. So again, Mark Carney just became the prime minister. What is he going to do to try to unite us?